Are you ready? Come in. I like when you do that. 3, 2.
And now for our feature presentation.
This is great because on the back it actually says this film is also known as
the I'll Watch It Later podcast.
You never heard of that film?
And now, on with the show.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to I'll Watch It Later podcast, the podcast where we lie about the movies we've seen to our friends. As always, I am Aaron, joined by my best friend in the whole world, maybe Jordan.
maybe.
Well,
One week I'm dead.
You've been mean to me this week. It's all good.
Hi, everybody.
And my best friend, brother-in-law, and general annoyancer, Scott.
Yes.
It is
a good start.
It's been a week, I guess. We hope you enjoyed the snack show and
It's been a week.
burning our fucking mouths to death. Oh, that was.
I was actually re-listening on the way here. I'm like, oh man, that fucking hurt. That really hurt.
So just thinking about it I'm just like, ugh.
That was one of the most unenjoyable experiences I've ever had.
It was
Yeah.
definitely.
I don't know how these people. Well, I get it. You go on the YouTube show and you do this whole like wing thing. I just. At least there's something in it for them.
Yeah.
For us, we were just being dumbasses.
Yeah.
And eating fucking nugs.
Well, it just made me realize I'm at a point in my life where I don't want heat anymore.
Yeah.
I'll eat like
Nope, you gotta eat that
hey,
shit.
do you want to eat a whole pizza? Sure, but don't fucking put hot peppers on it because I'm over it.
I like hot pepper.
People pay a
I'm
lot
just
of
saying,
money for this
I'm
shit.
like I'm not into the I bet it's too hot kind of
Yeah,
challenges.
no.
It's like no, fuck you.
I completely agree. I'm starting to worry too because I have been looking for snacks. I haven't found any new snacks. So I'm just like,
We got a couple weeks.
I know,
we got
but
time.
We say that all the
Usually-
time. Then we have like a table full. We have to put back snacks every week. I think we're okay.
Usually about this time though, I've already got it locked and loaded.
No,
but
see, this is when we start pulling out let's go get some wings. Let's go get
I'm
some
down for that.
food places. Let's go, eat Drew Brees',
Delicious
po' boys.
Yes. Oh my god.
You know what I mean?
We're
So,
going next weekend. Next weekend we're going
All right, I'm in.
walk-ons.
So I'm just
Their
saying,
po'
like,
boy
we can do this kind of stuff.
Is just like New Orleans po' boy. Oh, I loved it. Anyways,
Hey, did you like it?
yeah.
All right.
Go to walk-ons. If you live in Arizona, go to walk-ons. If you don't, you're out of luck. Sorry. Okay, so we saw my movie, and we also watched a couple other movies. Did you watch anything this week, Scott? I'm guessing no.
You kind of put me on the spot there. I can't remember.
Can't
What do you
remember.
mean? You can't remember?
I don't remember because it's like my weeks just blend now. So I have to think about this if I actually watched a movie because
You
I
want
don't
us to
think I did.
Come back to you?
Yes.
Okay.
Circle back.
So I know Jordan and I watched The Adam Project,
We
which
did.
just announced just a little bit ago that Sean Levy, director of Adam Project, and Free Guy will be directing Daredevil. Probably
At this point.
Yeah, Deadpool 3 for Disney. So
I mean, considering how almost PG that the Free Guy was, I can see him kind of dumbing down Deadpool
I'm already
to
worried
fit the
about it.
Disney properties a little bit more. Yeah.
I
think
Sean
you and I
Levy.
had a little bit a different opinion, of the Adam Project
Yeah.
a little bit. Like I think you went in with a lot more hatred toward it because you just are jealous of Ryan Reynolds.
No, I'm not. I'm not jealous of
I
Ryan
think he
Reynolds.
does
Jim.
have. It's like one of those where you're so infatuated with somebody that you
Did you
play
watch
it
it?
like you play it that you hate them.
Did you watch it?
No,
Then shut your mouth.
I'm just talking on
Shush.
your behalf because I know you
No,
have a
here's
huge raging
No,
man boner for
I have-
Ryan Reynolds.
No, I see all this.
He's sweating.
No, I'm not. I see all this love on the internet for Ryan Reynolds, and everybody is like has a huge rod in their pants for Ryan Reynolds. It's all Ryan Reynolds all the time. Ryan Reynolds should be in everything. Ryan Reynolds is not a good actor, and I don't know why we keep putting him in things. Name a good movie he's ever done. A good
Proposal.
one. What?
The Proposal.
No, a good movie he's ever done.
I kind of
Like,
that one too.
like a
Waiting.
serious. There's only actually one Ryan Reynolds movie I
Van
liked.
Wilder.
Van Wilder.
No.
I mean, I just named 3. Like
I said-
almost immediately.
I said no. You didn't name any good movies. Van Wilder's okay.
You hear
Is
that?
it just because you just don't like the guy? Like you don't
I
like
don't think he's
his
a good
popularity?
actor. He has,
well, no, he's
He's
not.
fallen into the. Every role is exactly the same. Quick quip, passionate monologue where he kind of like turns his head thing, and it never deviates. He's the same in every movie he's in.
I mean, yeah, that's
Yeah,
a selling
that's true.
point, but I don't find him to be unlikable. There's a movie that I haven't seen where he was buried alive. Like I haven't seen that one.
I fucking hated.
I've never seen it. Like
it is the
but
most.
see,
Oh,
that
I
just
can't
seems the
think of
most out of left
name
field for
of the
him.
movie though.
Buried.
I know. I'm just being an
I
asshole.
just didn't know if it was that was the title or not. I don't want to be like, oh, Coffin Man. But it's like I haven't seen a whole lot of dramatic turn for Ryan Reynolds and things like that. But he plays to his strengths, and they're genuinely they're just there. They're filler movies. They're just there to not make you be. It's not one of those you turn your brain off movie because you don't. But there's nothing to inherently hate about his movies. There's just nothing Oscar winning about them. I'm not going to say Oscar nominee and Oscar winner, Ryan Reynolds. No, he's just a genuine nice guy. And it's one of those things where it shows. And
You met him?
No, I'm just saying, like, it's just one of those things where, like, I don't think I've absolutely hated anything that he's been in. There's been things that I haven't really enjoyed a lot, like Free Guy. Everyone loves that movie. You and I went and saw it, and I just
terrible.
didn't like it, and I just feel like he wasn't the weak point for me, though. Like, everything else was. So, for me, it's just like he's just there, and, I'm not going to end up hating anything he's in. It may not be the best movie in the world, but it's just there to kind of fill time. I watched it while I was working. It wasn't one of those I had to pay attention, especially this movie where it was, an amalgam of 1,000 other time travel movies fit into one, PG-13.
Before we get into that, Ryan Reynolds has been in 3 good movies. Chaos Theory.
So it went from no good movies to now 3 good
Yeah,
movies.
yeah, because I forgot about these 3. Chaos Theory, Definitely Maybe, and Adventureland. That's it. And he's not even the main character.
He's
in
in so
Adventureland.
briefly in Adventureland, yeah.
But he's good in it. He's
I do
good
like-
in
I do
that.
like
He's
Adventureland.
good in that film. So, anyways, Adam Project. That
Anyway.
movie sucked.
See, for me, I can't say that it sucked. I when I had watched it, I sent a text out to you guys saying, hey, I watched this. It's not the best movie in the world, but it's not the worst movie in the world. And again, it's one of those Ryan Reynolds projects where it's Ryan Reynolds doing a thing. But even in this movie, he's a little more subdued. He's not as quippy as he normally is. This is just a middle-of-the-road, run-of-the-mill time travel movie. It's almost predictable to every point. It's just there, and it was thrown onto Netflix. It's one of those movies where, if I say I'm gonna rate it, it's middle of the road, and I would say it's on Netflix. Watch it. It's not a bad movie. It's like time travel for kids. Like I think I can have my kids watch it, and it would be okay because one of the main protagonists is that his younger self, who is the quippy one. Like he is the little loudmouth, sarcastic asshole. But I mean, it doesn't tread any new ground. It's just Back to the Future for dummies. I mean, it really is.
I would say watch Back to the Future. I did not like this
clearly,
at all.
yeah.
I thought it was incredibly pandering. The stupid superhero landing. I wanted to break my TV with my fists. It did nothing. And it's a 13 going on 30 sequel.
Oh, for sure.
And
The second I saw that
hate
scene
that
of
movie too.
So Mark Ruffalo and
Amanda Peet? No.
No.
Why am I thinking that? Jennifer Garner.
Jennifer
Sorry.
Garner are
Getting
in this
confused
movie,
sometimes.
and she plays the mom of Adam, younger Adam, and the dad. Spoiler alert! It's in the trailers. It's the premise of the movie is dead at this point.
What?
And yeah,
Ruin
so
it
it's
for
the whole thing.
Scott.
But they do a scene where they go back in time to 2018, and he's still alive. And the second they were together on screen, I'm like, so this is what happened after 13 growing 30. And I'm like, this is unofficial canon. This is what happened. This is their movie. And it was nice to see them on screen again, actually, because I really for one of those stupid types of movies, I did like 13 going on 30. I remember seeing it in the theater with
I
the
prefer
girlfriend.
Big, but
Well, yeah, for sure. But I mean, it's just those are like, again, it's a Ryan Reynolds type of movie where it's like you put it on, you watch it, and you're done with it.
I'm a sucker for those type of movies too.
That's
though.
what I'm saying.
You're
13
gonna
going on
fucking
30,
love
man.
it. You're gonna be like,
What was the other one with Zac Efron?
Oh, I did like that one.
Which was,
was,
big but in reverse.
Matthew Perry.
Reverse
Seven-
big.
Wasn't it
17? Is that what it was?
17 again or something
17
like that.
again.
Okay,
17
yeah.
again. Matthew Perry, yeah.
I dig that one too.
I did like that one.
See what I'm saying? But it's like as soon as I saw Mark Ruffalo and her on screen together, I'm like, oh, this is unofficially a sequel. And
Yeah,
it makes me so happy.
I thought the same thing, even though I hate 13 going on 30, just because it's so, I don't know. It's just too sweet. Like, it's like sickeningly sweet. It's like, ugh, get away from me.
Aaron's like, I can't do that much. Sweet
I'm just
in
over
a movie.
that type of film in my life. Like, all the beats. It's Marry Me, dude. It's fucking any
Sometimes you need
any
that, though.
rom-com.
Well, and that's
what's
what
wrong
this,
with that?
Well,
you
and that's
know?
what this movie feels like. It just feels like it's something there where if you can't really feel like you know what you want to put on, and you don't want to get into something heavy, and you don't want to. I can't say think because it really is not a turn your brain off movie. They're not pandering to you that much, but it's just one of those you throw it on the back, or maybe I would throw it on while I was eating dinner or something, and you just finish watching it, and okay, you saw it. You don't have to rewatch it. There, honestly, it has no rewatchability for me. Like, it was a one and done, but it was there. It was on Netflix, and it was fine. It wasn't terrible. So, I mean, I know you hated it, but
Also, the name of Jordan's sex life, one and done.
I got 2 kids. Anyway, enough about my
Joke's on
sex
you.
life. Joke's on you.
How are you not tired all the time? Oh, also, if you made it this far, thank you. We are going to completely spoil Batman. We're going to talk about Batman at the end of the show.
Yes.
So, whatever. If you don't want to listen to that, that's fine. If you
He's
made it
Bruce
this far,
Wayne.
you can listen to the review of my movie and then turn it off. But we are 100% going to spoil the shit out of Batman. So this is your warning and only warning, and I don't care. So
Don't worry, I'll warn you.
We'll let you know first.
Did you watch anything?
We want you to get at least 3/4 of the way through the show.
Did you watch anything else this week?
No, this week's been kind of weird. I had a different work schedule, so like I was just out of whack all week. So I watched the Adam Project because it was out, and I just kind of threw it on in the background.
I was gonna watch
But
it.
there was really nothing else that I kind of paid attention to.
I was gonna watch it last night, and then I was gonna watch Turning Red, but Kim was like, "No, you have to wait for
Is that the
family."
Panda movie? Did
Yeah,
they release it
Pixar.
already?
Yeah, it's on Disney
Oh, okay.
Plus.
Well, I'll check that one out.
But I did watch and finish Kingsman today. I know it's been out forever, but whatever.
Who would know?
Yeah. Actually,
Honestly.
Matt Vaughn, I gotta say, I enjoyed it. How you feel about Adam Project is how I feel about the Kingsman. It has all the same tropes of the other 2 Kingsmen, but it's like you get to see it World War I. I'm a sucker for anything World War I where they're in trenches. There's also a turning point in this movie where something happens that you absolutely do not think is going to happen. And you're like, whoa. And then
I feel like all the Kingsman movies were like that, though. Like the Kingsman 2, there was that scene later on toward the end of it where what's her face like ends up killing somebody and then grinding him into meat, and it's like they're just
serving it or
all
something.
so over the top. Like
It's
honestly,
very-
like I could almost, if nothing did happen that was like blow your mind crazy weird, I would actually feel like it didn't belong in the trilogy.
maybe, yeah. I just enjoyed it. I know it's not a good movie. Don't sit here and be like, "Whoa, no, you said." No, it's not. It's fun seeing those characters and where they like started and kind of how the Kingsman started, and Ralph Fiennes doing something besides Voldemort and all those people and shit. Just having fun, and clearly they were all having fun. I think Digimon Hansu's in it or whatever the hell his name is, and it's fine. It's on HBO Max.
I like the guy who plays Rasputin. He was the lizard in the Amazing Spider-Man movies. He's been in a bunch of them. He actually, one of my favorite roles he's ever done was Notting Hill, where he played the roommate of.
I've never seen Notting Hill.
Oh, you gotta watch Notting Hill.
Hugh Grant movie. I know,
Yeah,
but
it's
You've
a girl
seen it?
movie,
I've
but
seen it.
it's a good one. I like that movie. But he's in that, so yeah. Like I've been wanting to watch it. I just haven't gotten around to doing it.
what's funny is I actually I know this story of Rasputin and all that stuff and how he died was very like mysterious, and they kind of worked that into this film, and
I chop that guy up.
I very much enjoyed all that stuff. So yeah, if you got the HBO Max app and you just want to pull something up,
Might be also on either Hulu or
it is.
Amazon too.
It is
so
because I
we're
guess
doing some weird dual releases now.
Well, Fox releases are technically Disney releases,
Right.
but Disney doesn't want to release them on Disney Plus, so they'll release them on Hulu. But HBO Max also gets them because of their HBO.
It's funny, overseas they have an offshoot of Disney Plus. I think it's called Sky, and they're releasing all the Fox properties over there on that. And they released Kingsman
Kingsman.
I think the Kingsman. Probably right at the beginning of the year, and it became like one of the #1 streaming properties that Disney had overseas.
Well, yeah, it's very easy to watch.
Yeah.
I highly recommend if you're not doing anything and it just pops up on your screen to watch it. But
I'll check it out. I mean, like I said, those movies are fun. Like they're kind of ridiculous. I watched the first one. I'm like, okay, that was really, really weird, and like. But it's fun. Like, it's James Bond, but not taking itself seriously, James Bond.
Right.
Like, it's really good.
Oh, Samuel L. Jackson made that movie. I actually watched it the other day on TV. It was just came on.
We can't look at blood.
It's one of those.
He's like,
yeah. He has that lisp, and he serves McDonald's.
Oh, seriously.
Yeah. So,
No,
have you
that's a
seen
good
any
one.
of the Kingsman, Scott?
I just said the first one.
You're just over there smiling, like,
Yep.
looking at it. Yeah, guys.
I've seen the first one.
It's like movies are made. I like them.
I like movies.
Yeah, no, I've been wanting to watch that one. Now that you mention it, I almost put on Little Giants the other day.
Oh, please watch Little Giants.
I know. Again, this week has been kind of weird for me. I had a weird schedule, and I'm coming off last weekend being just real tired. So I'll get around to doing it. I'll watch it for you guys. Yeah. Never. I was kidding.
It's such a good movie.
But yeah, that's what I hear. I mean, but see, my problem, the thing that's gonna be hard about this movie for me is that you guys love it so much, but for me, I'm almost 43 years old. I didn't watch it when I was younger, so maybe it's not going to hit like it's
I didn't either.
I'm just saying,
I didn't either.
It's gonna hit, brother. It's gonna hit.
It's almost like watching, like you could watch the Bad News Bears today, and it's got that same story that kind of carries it.
You got the Rick Moranis. He's so likable in it.
Yeah.
You got Ed O'Neill. So likable. Devin Sawa. So likable. That girl. So likable.
Icebox.
Yeah, I don't know
insert
her name.
that girl. That's funny. Yeah, I'll get around to it. I will.
Please by next week.
I will.
For
later.
your movie,
I will
will you please watch Little Giants?
No.
Okay. No, I meant like
Today I'm choosing no.
No, I don't mean
Oh, I
pick
thought you
it.
meant
No.
choose it.
He's like,
no.
now that you want me to watch it, I don't want to watch
I don't
it.
want to watch it later.
I will do
All
it.
the movies that I am actively
I will do
avoiding.
it on my own merit.
That's funny. Oh, God. Okay, so before we really get into your movie, since we were talking about Disney, did you see that they're going to be putting all the Marvel shows on there?
I did.
Did you see all the backlash from some stupid parents group about it?
No.
So they're basically saying that by putting these shows on there, they're going to be ruining the family-friendly environment of Disney Plus. What's next?
Well, guess what?
Strippers in Fantasyland?
Don't fucking click on it.
Right.
You got parental control. Stop being a dummy. Like,
Listen up,
control
Karen.
your kids.
Without
Karen, you don't have to click on it.
without
okay?
getting too much
I'm just saying,
into
like,
the
it was
politics or
Disney.
into the deep of it, I now understand this thing where like corporations have to babysit and monitor us. Like if you can't, keep your kids from watching that, then that's your fault, not my fault.
right.
I'd rather have everything on there.
I want a separate section that you can go into that just has all the Fox properties. Like I want to be able to have access to that. They're sitting on a gold mine. They're not putting everything onto Hulu right now. All the streaming rights are kind of split off all these things. And right now, like if they can just consolidate it, it would be so good because I like the Disney Plus app. It's been pretty good. I think HBO Max is worth the money.
Me too.
I think the one thing that I like, but I think the interface in the app is completely terrible, is Paramount Plus. Like if they can get their shit together, those would be the top 3, and then maybe Netflix that I would legitimately pay for. Amazon at this point, comes with my subscription. I'm always buying shit, so I always got to keep it. But at this point, I have way too many streaming apps. Something's got to go eventually. And if you can just consolidate everything in, there goes Hulu. I can just throw it on to Disney Plus. That would be so great. But I saw that article today, and I was just like, you guys are so stupid. Like they equated putting this on there to having strippers in Fantasyland at Disneyland. I'm like, that's the dumbest correlation whatsoever. Like
People don't know how to argue anymore.
Well, and that's the thing. Like maybe you had a point until you put that in, and then that point went away. And it's like, well, what are you arguing? You're just being bitchy.
Yeah.
Censor your TV, be a parent, and then stop thinking Disney's going to do it for you.
I completely
Get
agree.
over yourselves.
I can't stand that kind of stuff. It's just like well, you understand. I'm just grunting into the microphone.
Yeah, no,
I
Grudcast.
without trying to fucking like.
People need
because
something
I don't
to
want to
complain
go. I
about.
don't want to go political. I don't want to.
It's not even political. It's stupid people.
I agree. I just don't want to.
It's not a right or a left thing, because honestly, there's a bunch of leftist, liberal nut jobs that are probably be against this whole thing, and then there's the religious, crazy, right wingers that are going to be against.
Well,
this
I was
thing.
going to bring up.
You're all just
religion.
assholes.
Yeah, it's just like stop using.
Shut
that as
up!
a
I want to
fucking
watch
excuse.
Aliens. I want to watch the entire
exactly.
Aliens movies
Exactly.
all on here.
People need something to blame other than their own self accountability.
Yeah. And when I was a kid, my
I
parents
watched
would-
RoboCop.
Yeah, well, my parents would
Oh,
would rent the movie from the Blockbuster, and then they'd say this movie's for you or this video game's for you.
Yeah, we used to get one in the adult one in the kids
and
version.
then the kids or my parents would watch the movie, and I knew I wasn't allowed out in the living room at that time.
And we knew that we couldn't go to that back door
Right.
where the curtain was over the door.
Right.
But we had to sneak the peek anyways.
Right.
But
Stepfather
yeah,
too.
Never,
I'll never forget.
never go to that door.
So
You talking about the movie or your second stepfather?
oh, both. It was a sad childhood.
Oh, no.
Anyways, no, I'm kidding. All right. So this week we watched Ty West's House of the Devil.
I can tell you like it.
I love it. It's perfect. About the deposit,
I'll agree to waive all the deposit stuff. You just give me the first month's down, we'll call it a day, all right? It's hard coming up with all that money, isn't it?
it's gonna work out. You're not the one with $84 in her bank account and a check to write on Monday.
You know what you should do?
Hi, I'm calling in regards to the babysitter flyer posted outside my dorm.
Tonight's big eclipse is now well underway.
I feel a little weird just dropping you out here, like in the middle of wherever we are.
You have to forgive me, Samantha, because I've not been completely honest.
We're from the desert, you know.
You see, we actually don't have a child.
They lied to you.
I know,
They're liars.
okay, I know you're right. But it's $400. This equals first month's rent and then some, and all I have to do is sit inside and watch TV. This is huge. This one night changes everything for me.
Here we go.
Are you not the babysitter?
Talk to me, Lord. Talk to me.
Really fast before we get into this, I said something about him maybe I said directing You're Next, but he definitely did not direct that. I kind of looked it up. He was like a producer on it or something. Had nothing, like he just had his finger on it. It wasn't even like his thing. That was Adam Wingard. I don't know why I
was going to say,
that.
you even met Adam Wingard.
I know. No, I met the writer, Simon Barrett. But
I thought
he
you
wrote
met
the
him.
movie.
Oh, okay,
No,
okay.
Adam Wingard wasn't there. That was right after he released Kong vs. Godzilla. He wasn't coming to.
Oh,
crappy Alamo.
I'm confusing him with the guy who did Seance or whatever that movie was.
So I caught myself. Seance, yeah, Simon
Yeah.
Barrett.
Gotcha. Okay.
So how it works is Adam Wingard directs all these movies, like The Guest,
Right,
You're
that's
Next,
right.
but Simon Barrett wrote them.
Gotcha.
So they're like
Okay.
a team. And then Simon Barrett went off and did his own thing. He did Seance, wrote it. He's doing another movie. He wrote a bunch of the VHS, like if you've ever seen those VHS
Yes,
horror
those are
films. He wrote a bunch of those. But this has nothing
cool.
to do with the movie I'm talking about. This is Ty West's House of the Devil.
No, we need to go more into detail about how you fucked up, and then we're going to go down a rabbit hole.
Let's just talk about how you fucked up.
I fuck up a lot on when it comes to movie knowledge when I'm on the fly doing a podcast. But I like to come on here and tell people that I'm wrong because that's what an adult does. So I was wrong, and I apologize for saying that.
So if you guys would like to donate to the show to get him a pad of paper to write some of these notes down,
I got
that's...
the phone. The phone works.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't. It really doesnn't. Anyways,
He's got plenty of books.
That's less than 1% of my books.
Anyway, go ahead. Tell your movie.
All right.
That was so inside, it's freaking warm still.
Yeah, well, whatever.
Put the audio at the end of the
So House of the Devil came out in 2009. It was directed by Ty West. It stars a bunch of people you've never heard of. Jocelyn Donahue, Greta Gerwig, which you have heard. I think she's, director.
She's a director now.
Yeah.
She's annoying. Fuck her.
You don't like Greta Gerwig?
I'm so annoyed with her. Like, she decided to make Little Women, and then like everyone fawned all
I know.
over it. I'm
Same
like,
thing
get
with
over it, man. You made a movie that people have made 1,000 times. Suck it.
Same with Lady Bird. And I'm not even shitting on Lady Bird. I went
It
and
was
saw that
okay.
in the theater. Thought it was okay. Thought it was fine. But people are like, that's me. That's literally me. I'm like,
No, it's
relax.
Keep it in your pants.
It's a fucking movie. It's a coming of age story about a woman. There's 900 of them. Anyways, so
Tom Noonan is in it. Is a
Oh, yeah.
It's like a character actor. Like, you would know him by sight, but not by name. And when you see him, you're like, I've seen this guy in like
you know
a
who he
1,000
remind me
things.
of?
Who?
The tall man from Phantasm.
A little bit. He's very tall.
I thought kind of the same thing when he first appeared on screen. I was like, oh, they're trying to go Phantasm on this one.
You know what really random movie I always associate him with?
RoboCop 2.
No, but yes, also at the same time, Last Action Hero.
He's in that.
Yeah, so I'm like,
doesn't he play the?
he's
the
the
killer
axe
guy?
killer.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I forget. Yeah, I forgot he was in the second RoboCop.
Yeah. I
Fucking
always
turns
think of
into that
RoboCop 2.
bad, dumb robot at the end. Oh god damn, I'm gonna watch RoboCop too. Anyway,
so this movie is about a college student who is kind of low on funds, but kind of catches a break, needs a job real quick for the weekend so she can pay her first mortgage because she got to move out because her roommate is kind of a
Turns to stripping
terror.
on Disney Plus.
It's kind of a terror. She winds up going to a house to babysit, and things get out of hand. First off, this movie is only an hour and a half long, which props to it. It was filmed on 16 millimeter, which it has this old. It came out in 2000. What did I say? 2009. And it looks like it was filmed in the 70s, which I give it a ton of credit for. What did you guys think? Let's start with you, Scott.
please.
You really want to go there?
Yeah, I do because I already am ready.
So here's the thing. Okay,
Here's the thing.
There's some good things, and there's some not so good things about this movie.
Okay, I disagree.
The good things are, again, I enjoyed the way it was filmed because it was filmed on 16 millimeter, and
Yes.
because it looked like it was made in the 80s, where it was like supposed to have been made. With that being said, if you film anything on 16 millimeter, you're going to get that same effect. So credit for using your tools and going back and using the same thing that they did. This, oh Jesus, where do I start? I'm going to use a word that I fucking hate because I wish it would just go away. This is one of those slow burn movies.
Oh yes, it is.
And I fucking hate that. I hate it.
Warned you.
No. So I actually enjoyed the first part of this movie because it did have some decent build-up. I was actually, because it is a short movie, it didn't linger on the burn.
Do you have to? Sorry, every time he says it.
It was kind of going into it, and I was kind of playing this movie in my head, saying, okay, where's this movie going to go? Immediately up front, they show you that this is about cults. He puts a thing up there saying how this is about, the cults, and this is how based on kind of the true accounts and this whole thing. So I kind of had an idea of where this movie was going to go. When it got to the point where it was really ramping up and getting to the main point of the movie.
Oh, you mean the last 8 minutes?
Like the last 6 minutes of the movie.
I can't wait to fucking argue with you. I
The
cannot wait.
The story, for me, fucking hated it. I hated the cult thing. I thought, so here's the premise, and I'm going to kind of...
Actually, I'm kind of surprised. I thought you were going to hate the buildup.
No, because that wasn't that bad for me.
So I thought the buildup was incredible. I thought that that's what made the movie. Because I thought that... I'm gonna pull back the curtain a little bit. I watched this in daytime. Freaked me out a little bit. Kept
Jesus.
expecting that mom to pop around the corner.
That's what I was waiting for. So that's what I wanted out of this movie. I wanted this to be about... So she... just for people who haven't seen this movie, she goes to this house. She's pulled in as a babysitter, and the guy says, well, I can't get anybody, so it's my mother. And I'm thinking, oh, here we go. It's going to be creepy grandma.
Right, exactly.
Creepy grandma. So the whole thing is built up in suspense with noises through the house. She's hearing noises. She's checking. She's going through the house because she's kind of freaked out. She's flipping lights on. She's turning TVs on. Everything that any normal person would do in a movie. or in a situation like that, you would think, okay, yeah, I'm going to turn all the lights on because I'm scared. I'm gonna go get the butcher knife because I'm scared.
I'm gonna throw on my headphones and do a music montage. For
And
no
you
reason,
see,
just
like, at
scared.
one
It
point
wasn't
you
a music
see
montage. You listen to one song, and all the choreography was by her.
and
Fuck
you
you,
so you
Jordan.
see the feet underneath the door lighting. And I'm thinking, okay, we're going to get creepy grandma. Grandma's going to come out and kind of fucking just wreak havoc on this story.
Thought so too.
And it just kind of never happened.
No.
All of a sudden, it was a seance, and it was weird people. And I'm like, okay, this is exactly what I expected from this with the opening sequence. And the ending of it, I think the buildup was good for the horror kind of aspect and the suspense of it. I actually liked the buildup.
Yeah, the buildup was awesome.
The payoff fucked me right in my keister.
No, I disagree completely. I think the buildup was incredible. I thought the payoff was good, and I thought the ending was great. But I'm going to let Jordan shit on it for a minute, and then I'm going to defend all my points. So go ahead.
I was bored. I was bored by this movie.
Of course you were.
The first 20 minutes, nothing happens.
I
Literally nothing happens.
Disagree.
You get to see her laying on some stairs. You get to see her answer an old-timey telephone. You get to see her talk to her friend who doesn't like pizza. And then,
Her friend does like pizza. That pizza was gross.
Yeah, well, apparently all pizza in this movie is gross because later on the pizza was gross. So this
was
town
drugged.
has no good pizza.
It was drugged.
All I'm saying is no thank you. I was bored. And it wasn't until minute 40 something of any interest happened. And that's when, spoiler alert, Greta Gerwig gets her face blown off.
Which was an awesome scene.
Which is awesome. But I have questions. Why did you pull off there to smoke a cigarette? You couldn't do that driving?
No, her car broke down.
I thought she just pulled off because I was so bored. I was like just not paying attention apparently. But yeah, and then all of a sudden rando guy comes up. She's like, "Oh, where'd you come from?" I'm like, "First of all, you roll your window up immediately. The second someone does that, you're out."
She's already freaked out about having to drive out there.
She's freaked out
and
about
then
leaving her
rando guy
friend,
walks
yeah.
up and she's just like, "Hey, what's up?"
Hey, how you doing? Oh, you scared me. Oh, there's that a gun. Boom, face off. After that, it got boring again. That was like, oh shit's about to happen. Nope. We get to watch this chick walk through the house. Like, there were moments where the suspense maybe builds a little, but then no, it goes nowhere. It was like those scenes in the new Scream movie where he's like, oh, he's looking in the fridge. He's going to close the fridge. Something's going to be behind the fridge. Nothing.
Nope.
And then for a second, they're like, she's going to go into this room. She doesn't go in the room, but then they pan to the room, and there's dead bodies on the ground around the pentagram. I'm like, oh, shit, now shit's going to happen. Nope. And then all of a sudden, things start to happen, and it moves so quickly that it's done, and then the ending happens, and I'm like, that was the dumbest ending I've ever seen. It was so stupid. This movie is so predictable because it is every 80s movie, every 70s movie, every horror movie. It is not an homage. We've heard someone compare another movie to another movie and say it's a direct ripoff. I think this movie is almost a direct ripoff of almost every other movie I've ever seen.
Well, the ending
this
we
is Prom
get,
Queen. This is all these.
The ending we get the Rosemary's Baby where she's laying there and the credits are, and the woman's like, "Oh, there's two of you now."
First of all, no, you just shot your fucking brain out.
Yeah,
you didn't survive.
Shot her fucking head.
She. Okay.
Let me know when I'm allowed to defend
You
it.
could defend all you want in a second.
I will.
So I'm watching this movie, and again, spoiler: at the end of the movie, she's being chased by the guy who hired her. She's already poked the guy eyes out of the guy who was in the Signal. What was his name?
I don't know his name.
Oh, fuck.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So he was the son of the mom and the dad. So he gets his eye poked out. He's pissed off. Then he gets his throat slashed. And I'm like, oh.
No, so she kills the son, right? In the most impossible way, because she's on her back with a knife.
Oh my God.
And she reaches up, and in no real world scenario will she ever be able to reach that guy's neck from where she was standing.
No.
And she just slices his neck open
Slices
and he
neck
dies.
open.
And I'm like, it's impossible. It can't fucking happen. I'm like, especially in that scene, there's no way. He's standing up straight, she's laying on the ground, and she slashes his fucking neck.
Oh, and guess what? We finally get to see Grandma in a fun scene where she looks like Sloth from the Goonies. And she's,
she's the Lord of the Rings.
She's
the guy from Lord of the Rings.
She's the orc.
Yeah,
Pretty sure she's wearing skin, but
no, she's not. That's her face.
That was her face.
That was legit her face.
yeah,
Inbreeded.
but it was all fucked up.
Well, no shit. She's fucking Sloth from the Goonies. And she's like doing this thing, and I'm like, oh great. So guess what? the second they walk in and she's laying there, I'm like, oh look, the devil's gonna be in that woman. That's it. Like the movie is predictable beyond all repair, and was the most boring piece of cinema I have watched, and it bothers me because I really want to see his next movie, and gives me no.
Me and Scott will go.
I will go.
No, not with this attitude.
I'm going, but
No.
I just it bums me out because
You're in timeout.
I got to go in timeout now because I didn't like a movie. I was bored. Like I wanted to like it. I was bored out of my mind, and there was nothing for me here. It was boring.
Okay, so anyways, you're both wrong and you're both very dumb. First off, the movie sets up everything 100% perfectly. She needs the fucking apartment. She goes, and the lady's like willing to make her a deal because it's supposed to be set in the 70s, whatever.
E.T.'s mom.
Yeah, E.T.'s
Cujo.
mom.
That woman's great.
Yeah, so she
the only
needs
scene
the
she's in.
$300. So she goes. She's like, oh, my dad will cover it, and she's like, I'm too good for that. I'm a strong, independent woman. I mean to get it myself. So she just happens to go and like cross, the babysitting thing, and then her friend Greta Gerwig pulls down all the fucking numbers so no one can call
In a crazy scene you don't even see. Go ahead.
What do you? What? Yeah.
You don't see her do it.
Yeah, but she hands her the thing.
It's just a pile of papers.
Okay. It's set up that her roommate sucks. And it's set up that the house is in the middle of fucking nowhere
During an
that
eclipse.
she can't run away from.
Ooh, the devil. Go ahead.
Did I? Did I interrupt
go ahead.
you?
Go
Okay.
ahead.
The family's creepy. There's some great dialogue between her and the old man, and he's like setting up this situation. $400. That's perfect. She can buy groceries. She can pay her rent. And then it's just dread for fucking 40 minutes. And then the ending happens, and it's batshit crazy. And it's fucking awesome. And it's like The Exorcist.
So are you saying that you didn't see that ending coming?
No, the movie's called House of the Devil. I did
Right.
see it coming. But the build up is what gets you there. The leading up to it is what gets you there.
But if you know what's going to happen, is that build up enough to
yes,
save that?
because it was a great, dread. All you felt the entire time was dread. I was freaked out. I told you. It bothered me.
Zero freaked out.
None.
Maybe I'm like, and this goes back again. Maybe Jordan and I
We're
are
fucked up.
super fucked up.
We're fucked up.
Because I found the only time was when, and I find it when the music hits. I think the music
Also, the music in this
is
movie
more
was
is
really
more
good.
tense to me. Like if I'm just watching her on screen and there's no music, you almost wouldn't know when any build-up scene is because she's just going from room to room in this house. So it's anticipation, yes, but that was the only thing that I remotely thought at any moment was like, oh, the music's building. When the music's building, what's going to happen? Nothing.
Yeah, and I think that's what happened to me is that it built up and it did all these moments where you think something's going to happen and it doesn't. So by the time something does happen, I don't care anymore because you've already fucked with me too much through this movie. And I'm like, I don't care. And I think the funny thing is this movie, has the ending happen. Oh no, she's got the devil in her. Whatever. The most unrealistic part of this movie is when she reaches out to grab the pizza off the porch, grabs it, holds it to her chest like it's a book. No, that pizza fell into that box. There's no way that pizza survived that, and I was just upset after that. I'm just kidding. I'm fucking.
I thought the same thing.
That was annoying, but
I was like, why would you put the fucking pizza?
Why would you hold
up
your
like that?
pizza that way?
Yeah, I'm like, that's gonna ruin the fucking pizza.
But why wouldn't you ask that's the only thing I didn't understand is like, why didn't you ask the pizza guy for help? I mean, I've clearly it's established it's the son, but she didn't really need help at the moment. But I'm just saying, like, she was freaking out at that time.
Well, I think in that situation, you're assuming that everything is actually normal.
To me,
you don't feel like you're going to be in a fucking devil house with
Right.
fucking satanic cults and
to
shit.
me,
Well,
it's
she
like,
started trying to put together this puzzle. Sorry,
Yes.
where like she sees the pictures and then she looks outside and she sees like their vehicle and it was like, oh wait, that was
It's
a vehicle
this-
from earlier. But then it doesn't fully pay off.
To me, it's just the dread keeps building and building and building. She's like, she can't get in touch with her friend. There's like, all this house is just fucking weird. She's finding hair. She finds the picture. Wait, she said these were in the basement. She actually goes to the basement at one point, and then she's like, nope, no, not for me. And then keeps going. And then she finds the van, and then the son.
See, not being able to get a hold of your friend in the 80s.
That was normal.
It's normal
She
shit
probably wasn't
for me.
home.
I'm thinking, okay, yeah, I mean, what is she going to do, man? She can't can't page her.
It was a couple hours after she had dropped her off. I'm just saying, it made sense in the film. So it just, to me, it all worked. It all clicked together. And then at the end, it was like really creepy. I didn't think it was scary, but I thought it was really creepy once you saw the blood and all that shit. She's wearing the fucking. I'm into folk horror. I think
again,
I
think Jordan and I
just-
are just fucked up.
No,
I think we're
you're not
fucked
into
up.
folk horror because this is folk horror and it was awesome.
We are Jordan and I are
This inspired
foobar
Midsommar.
apparently.
I feel
That's exactly what I said. I go,
yeah.
this ending is Midsummer, and I'm like, and I fucking hated that movie.
Me too.
You should revisit it.
Why?
I will never.
It's good.
Because I
It's
hated.
good.
I don't really care for anything that's like cult like
Oh, I love it.
because it's just they try to make it super weird, and it just for me it just never hits that
You
payoff.
get like Wicker Man with Nicolas Cage. Like the original wasn't half bad, but
Wicker Man?
Yeah, the original Wicker Man.
The
was good.
original Wicker Man is a masterpiece.
I said it was good.
You said it was half. It wasn't half bad.
Oh my god! I'm sorry. Oh, Wicker Man from the '70s. Yeah, that was great.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I'm not using the vernacular that conveys
Saying
my.
not half bad means it's.
I'm
not
just
great.
saying in comparison to like the remake. So I mean, it's a better movie than the original.
Getting too worked up.
It's so worked up.
And it's just like this just didn't hit for me. Like it was just a lot of nothing building up to something that I've seen in 1,000 other movies.
Like I said, I will actually give the credit where the credit's due and say that again. I hate the fucking phrase slow burn. This one is, I call it a build up. I think people
was
that
definitely
use
a slow burn.
I think people that use the phrase slow burn, it just cover up for fucking the word boring.
No, it's
Because they're
not.
like, it was such a slow burn.
Because then
and
you
I'm
get
like,
a
it was
payoff
fucking
at the
boring.
end.
It was fucking boring. Now, it was a good build up because it didn't link to me being an hour and a half. Like, I don't mind the build up because I think it was actually pretty decent. But I was anticipating something completely different. Like I said, I thought we were going to.
I wanted Grandma to
I
pop out
thought
of the
we were
hallway.
getting Grandma. I thought we were getting freaking Norman Bates. Grandma in the fucking attic.
They
You know what I mean?
almost
That's what I
almost
wanted.
give you that for a second where there's a scene where the camera view is from the outside of the house looking through the windows, and it made me feel like finally we're gonna get that weird someone's out there.
That was the
someone's
son. He was out there.
No, I understand that, but that was such a brief moment of this could be good, and then it's like they borrow a lot of things from
there's a
so
lot of
many
horror
other
movies.
and don't coherently put it together.
When she's walking up the stairs with a knife and,
Right.
and the shadows, and she's walking up the shadows from the banisters, and I'm like, this is Halloween. This is Halloween when she's walking upstairs
Right.
and you're playing on the shadows and the light from the outside and the moons, and I'm like, there's a lot of like the blood at the end. I'm like, this is like Carrie. Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of things in this movie that reminded me of other movies. Like, so I get exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, and I think that's maybe what bothered me the most is that I'm like, oh, I could be watching that movie instead and enjoying it more, or I could be watching this movie, and it's like,
Well, that's good because this movie was good. So,
that's fine.
so what are we giving it, guys?
I'm gonna go ahead and you're gonna think that I probably hated it a lot more. I probably didn't hate it as much as Jordan did.
Probably.
I'm gonna go right down the middle because there's things about this movie that I actually liked. Like I said, I liked the way it was filmed. I liked that it gave me that throwback kind of 80s feel. I like some of the shots in it. Again, I hated the ending. My score is probably going to be a little bit more reflective of nothing of this because I'm going to give it a 2.5 down the middle because I think it was fine. I don't think it was great.
All right. Well, I'm going to give it. I would recommend this movie to people. I enjoyed it. I thought it was very creepy. I thought the build-up was incredibly good. I thought the direction was good. I thought the music was good. The cinematography. When Greta Gerwig gets her head blown on, I thought that was very campy 80s. I thought the whole thing, the cult at the end was cool. I enjoyed watching
Like what was
them
it? A
die.
snub-nosed pistol that like blew her face completely
Yeah.
off. Like, sorry. Yeah. Sorry, God.
And then he takes the cigarette and starts smoking it. And then, the ending scene, she's running through a graveyard. I thought that was so well done. And the hospital thing, kind of setting it up for maybe a sequel type
Please don't
thing.
make
You know what it may remind me of? Kind of a little bit Rosemary's Baby type of thing. Or like an Exorcist where it is a slow burn fucking Scott.
I didn't like Exorcist either.
AKA boring.
So I don't think, but at the end of the day, it does fall in line with a lot of those movies. A lot of those movies do it better. However, I still think it's a very good movie. I would still be like, hey, you should check. If you are into this guy, watch this. Watch, oh, I'm going to see X. What should I watch by him? I think this would be a good entry point into his filmography. So I'm giving it a 3.5. It's not the most perfect movie ever, but I thought it was definitely creepy. Definitely worth your time. It's an hour and a half long. It didn't even feel like an hour and a half. I thought it started and ended. And then once I realized, oh, this movie's an hour in and she's just getting to the house, like, it's going to be, it's going to be chaos, which it kind of was.
Because I had texted you guys, I'm like, if you had seen it.
Good.
Because I was going to put on there, man, I'm like, I am 50 minutes into this movie and not a damn thing has happened yet.
Right. I think I looked it up, and at minute 42 or 45, Greta Gerwig gets her face shot off.
Yeah.
And before that, it was just a lot of nothing. Like
Well,
I did
a
like
lot of build up.
Oh my god.
The story had to build up.
45 minutes of build up.
Of story, absolutely.
Well, where was it?
Oh, Jesus. What did you give it?
You built it up with that little teaser at the front telling everything it's about cults. That's all you needed. I knew immediately it was about cults. Get into it.
I'm sorry that it didn't have a giant body count for you. It wasn't.
I don't
fucking
need a body
Halloween.
count.
It wasn't
I
people
like
getting
movies
stabbed
that-
in the neck.
I like, story.
Sorry, it
and
wasn't
I just,
directed by Sean Levy and starring Ryan Reynolds.
abs.
Ryan Reynolds might have brought some charismatic moments to this movie.
Suck his dick already.
I did like the way it was shot. I'm not gonna lie. Like I even texted you guys. I was like, it starts off very like 70s, 80s. Like it had that feel to it. I like that style because some of my, I wouldn't say favorite horror movies, but some of the ones that I like to watch every year are usually ones that like in the late 70s or early 80s and things like that, where the horror movie, the genre started coming back a little bit. So you got those Prom Nights and you got all those movies that were kind of shot the same way. And then there's those, Stalking the Babysitter. This was a babysitter movie, and I just feel like it fell flat for me as far as a babysitter being stalked movie, and it turned into a cult movie, and I don't know. I just didn't like it. So
I never once felt it was a babysitter movie.
Well, that's kind of the genre, though. Like, babysitter comes in, and then now there's, it's like one missed call. Like, oh, no, you're babysitting, and then there's something shit crazy starts to happen.
It's
I think
a more
it was
fun movie to watch.
I think it was a more of
The Babysitter.
The Babysitter. That is actually, that was really good.
It's okay.
It's just fun.
So
I thought it was more of a necessity movie. Like the only reason she was there was out of necessity. Well, she wasn't really a babysitter. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
she was there because
she was there to babysit. But yeah, you're right.
Well, she
Early
was
in the
there to
movie,
be
she's
the-
like, I don't even like kids.
She
I'm
was
like,
there to be the victim.
Yeah,
Right.
she's the
she was
final
the final
girl.
girl. Yes.
Yeah. But for me, it's a 1.5. Like, I'll never rewatch this movie. I won't tell anybody about this movie. I was bored. There are better movies out there. I just didn't like it. And I gave it a 1 for the way it looked, and I give it a 0.5 for having Leah Dunham in it that you didn't even know she was in the movie.
She was?
She was the voice of the 911 operator.
I
kidding.
saw
I know.
her.
Just kidding. That's not why I'm rating it. I can't stand her. But
I saw her.
She is in the movie.
I saw her listed in the cast,
Yeah.
and I thought to myself, this was before I even watched it, and I'm like,
I didn't know that. I would have never
Lena
picked it.
Dunham is in this fucking movie.
Yeah,
man.
she's only by voice only. You wouldn't even know it unless you looked it up.
God, I hate
But
her
I
so
just
much.
figured I'd throw that out.
Now that you said it, I'm like, oh yeah, that's right.
Damn right,
Where
she
was
is in
she
the
in that
movie.
movie?
Once
I was like, maybe she was the old hag at the end
She
of the
was
movie.
the old hat. No, I was kidding. I wouldn't doubt
That would
it.
have been fitting.
Right? God, why is she nude? I don't know. It's in her claws.
Welcome to I'll Watch It Later podcast, the podcast where Jordan realizes that he hates movies every week.
I've been loving a lot of movies lately.
What,
I just didn't like that movie.
What is
got a
your
lot of horror books,
What
though.
is your pick for next week?
That's funny because I do have a Halloween book on pre-order that should be coming out soon. Oh, that is dumb. All right, let me look it up. Hold on.
Oh,
Get over
we
that.
aired it this week.
Oh yeah. What are you using your phone? It's not fast.
I was looking it up, and then you sidetracked me with talking of this movie. My pick, and this is I'm not saying that I'm gonna start going with like Oscar contender movies because you picked a movie that I didn't like. I'm picking a movie that honestly looks horrible, looks fantastically horrible. It's the 1980 classic, just released on 4K. We both own it. We're all gonna watch it. Alligator.
It lives 50 feet beneath the streets. It's 36 feet long. It weighs over 2,000 pounds. And it's about to break out.
You're looking at the one who saw it. And it was big.
You said it was dark. Now, perhaps you were mistaken. An alligator half that size would starve in a week.
He kept coming up with some garbage about alligators in the sewers.
Alligators in the sewers?
Once it escaped, there was no way to stop it.
The safety of the public is my job.
It could be anywhere.
There he is.
Ready to attack at any moment.
You know, I've seen what this animal can do. You'd better take all the help you can get.
Keep coming. At first, no one believed it. Now, no one will forget it. Alligator.
I can't wait to give it a 1.
I don't care. You know what? I don't care if you give it a 1. It's
Can't wait to
not.
give
I
it a
didn't make
1
this
and be
movie.
like,
I don't have anything mentally invested in it. I am just
boring.
excited to watch it. I bought it. We haven't gotten around to it.
It's
So
going to be 50 minutes of this alligator just swimming around in the water.
So this is
it's a slow burn.
Slow burn. This is the
Slow
alligator.
burn.
Robert Forrester.
Well, the alligator needed money, so that's why it took the job. Wait, why is there a cult at the end controlling the alligator?
Alligator's like, this pizza's terrible.
So basically, it's a pet baby alligator flushed down the toilet, survives in the city sewers, and then 12 years later, it grows to an enormous size thanks to a diet of discarded laboratory dogs injected with growth hormones. It's
kind
a
of like
monster movie.
This is a folklore
well,
tale.
it's an animal attack.
Yeah. I mean, it's just one of those, crazy horror, like there's ones called like Hiss and Venom and like Killer Bee and Alligator.
Well,
all these in the 70s
this is a folklore
and 80s
tale
were
of like the whole. I mean, it was there
Alligator in the
I think
sewer.
there was a story. Yeah, it was like somebody in New York City that had a pet alligator and flushed it down the toilet because they couldn't have it in their apartment.
Right.
And then it grew to this giant thing in the sewer that everybody kept like seeing. So I mean, I don't know. I've heard this movie. I've heard of it. I've heard the story. I've never seen it. So
It's
I'm
got
kind
a
of excited to watch
huge
it.
cult following. Like I said, they just released it in 4K, so Aaron and I both bought it. I even wanted to watch it. I kind of saved it so we can maybe choose it to watch here. So it's going to force me to finally sit down and actually get a viewing of it. They made a sequel. It's called Alligator 2: The Mutation.
But it has nothing to do
No,
with
it has,
the
it
first
has
one.
nothing to do with it,
Wow.
which is fantastic. So
It was also inspired by Jaws, and this is one of Tarantino's favorite animal attacks films.
Oh, he's gonna-
one of
he's
the
gonna love it
reasons
then.
that Robert Forrester was in Jackie Brown.
Really?
Yes.
I love Robert Forster.
So
Rest in
it's
peace.
already 4. It's starting out at a 4.5 for Aaron.
No, I already knew this stuff before I even bought the movie.
Can only go up from here.
Nope, it's a 0.5 because Robert
Okay.
Forrester's in it.
What? See, here's the thing. I'm not rating your movies lower because it's you. I'm
are.
rating the movie based off my personal choice and not either liking or
Well,
liking
it
of a movie.
feels
Would you
very
say
So
that it's
you
an
fe-
opinion?
It's an opinion, and I mean, maybe that's your opinion, maybe that's my opinion, but it's an opinion nonetheless.
Doing inside jokes for people who don't follow us on Facebook.
You know what? I don't care because it's funny for us.
Yeah, I'm having a great time.
All right. So, anyways, last week we all got to check out the Batman. Put in some Batman noises. No, put them in.
Please do.
Batman. Anyways,
so good.
so,
I'm the human sound machine.
Are you done? God, you're a terrible.
Wasn't that like
producer.
Gloria Estefan's band? Like this Miami Sound
The
Machine?
Miami Sound Machine. Yes.
that's you, Scott, the Miami Sound Machine.
You should be less talky as a producer. You're just
No.
there to produce.
You know what?
You're not there to talk.
He produced you a better score on your movie.
You gave me this power.
I gave you no power.
With great power comes great responsibility.
Take your mic away.
Ugh.
Anyways, so we all got to see the Batman starring Robert Pattinson. It's clearly another Batman reboot. I want to start with Scott because I can gush for an hour, but you didn't like it. So what's up?
I didn't say that.
Okay. Well, why didn't you did? But go ahead.
I said it was fine. It was fine. It's fine as a movie. Again, and just to reiterate, when we came out of this movie, I said, this is a tale of two movies. It is a Jesus Christ, this is twice in this episode. It's a slow burn. Slow burn. The movie is way too long in the beginning, and then we get to like some good stuff. It just, for me, that was the biggest killer of the movie, was the length.
Oh, I agree that the length was really unnecessary. I also would cut off the end of this film. However, all encompassing, all incorporating, Robert Pattinson, to me, is the best Batman we've had on screen. He is the most comic book accurate Batman. And if you don't believe me, 1% of my books is sitting right next to me. And we can
Nobody understands these jokes.
Inside jokes.
Well, if you guys can do it, I can do it. I think he's the most comic book accurate Batman we've ever had. I think that Gotham is the most accurate Gotham we've ever had. I loved every character. I liked how real it felt. It felt so real. Whereas like a lot, you either went 89 Batman, which is great. It went very comic book. Nolan's went very like centrist real world. Like, yes, Batman exists in a real world. This was almost like the world was made for Batman. It existed because Batman existed, and I don't know if that explains it very well, but it's like it just makes sense in this film. I think me and Jordan are pretty lockstep on this. The Catwoman stuff, I loved her. I thought she was a great character. There was a whole middle part that just didn't really work, but it's fine. Like I don't think it was necessarily egregious in any way. It just lengthened the film that just didn't need to be lengthened.
I think there was a story element to Catwoman that I think didn't need to be there. Her involvement was fine. Her involvement made sense. I think the idea of her wanting to rob the mob because Carmine Falcone was her father. Ooh, spoiler alert. Dun, dun, dun. Like, you could have just said, no, my mom also worked for him and was killed under mysterious circumstances, and that's why I'm exacting my revenge. You didn't have to link her to another character in that way and say, oh, that's my dad. Like, that was an unnecessary plot point, but it didn't take away from the movie. Right. I just feel like it was kind of just felt tacked on. Like, we just wanted to write her to be a little bit slightly more important. But at the end of the day, it didn't make one fucking bit of difference because she still didn't care. It's not like she was going to pull the trigger on Carmine and then said, I can't, he's my dad. Like, that would have made more sense. Like, I can't actually
miss. Even though
she's a bad shot, apparently. The light went out after she pulled the trigger. Like, you should have shot him. Yeah. But, I mean, for me, like, that felt very tacked on for no reason. But for most part of it, I feel like the story was actually really good. You get to see Batman really getting into learning how to be Batman.
Right.
You've got him, fucking around at crime scenes where maybe he should probably not be fucking around at crime scenes. Right. And learning
making
how
mistakes.
to do. Yeah, he makes a lot of mistakes.
See, that was for me growing up with these other Batmans. That was the weirdest part of this movie for me because I wasn't an avid reader of Batman comics.
Well, I have 1% of my books right here, and we can go through it if you want to argue.
So I'm used to the Batman in the shadows, and this was Batman as like he's part of the force, and he's showing up on crime scenes. And like I said, So the only thing that was different was like he didn't. I was waiting for him to see him standing in line at Starbucks to get his latte in his bat outfit.
Well,
that was the weird part
No,
for me.
a lot of the animated series and stuff like that, he works lockstep with Commissioner Gordon. He's not, the Gotham PD is aware of his existence and they're aware of Gordon's involvement.
Right.
With him.
It was kind of really out there.
It's
for
where
me
the
in this
detective part of Batman comes in, and I thought it did show a good
starting point for him actually
Yes.
being a detective. He wasn't
Right.
just beating confessions out of people or,
Yes.
yelling at people with a lisp. Like, I went back, that's what I watched. I forgot. I went back and watched Batman Begins and I watched The Dark Knight. And it made me realize how much I do like this new one because his version of Batman felt better to me.
Right.
Like, I liked Michael Keaton. I have a fondness for Batman 89 that will never go away, and
Right,
for me
same.
that's always my Batman. But this Batman is the best Batman and Bruce Wayne that I've seen on screen because he plays both perfectly. He's jaded. He doesn't even want to be Bruce Wayne. He's not at that point where he wants to be the philanthropist and having his dual life. He just wants to fucking beat shit up.
Well, in this movie,
it's
you don't
affecting
get Bruce
his
Wayne.
life.
Yes.
You don't get a lot of Bruce Wayne in this movie,
Well,
and
you get
that's
the My
where
Chemical Romance Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, that's where
you get the
which is
perfect
fine.
amount of
the
Bruce
previous Batman's is very Bruce Wayne centered. It's about
Right.
Bruce Wayne, and then it's Batman is almost the secondary character. This one is very Batman first. Bruce Wayne is just kind of it's there and it's known.
Right.
It's very very little. So that was one thing that you do get a lot of Batman. But I'm gonna tell you right now, I wanted more Riddler. I thought
I
that
did too.
story. I thought that their adaptation of the Riddler is probably the best bad guy since Heath Ledger that I've seen.
I think
I
you're
agree.
completely right. Paul Dano, such an underrated actor. He is so good. Director, actor, everything. He reminds me a lot of Daniel Day-Lewis. He chooses his parts like kind of like Daniel Day-Lewis does. He doesn't just take whatever movie's thrown at him, so you don't see him in a lot of stuff.
You don't. Like, I can name it 3 movies off the top of my head, including this one that he's been in the last 10 years.
Yeah, and the other, if you're looking for a good, he's in it. He's a very secondary character, but Looper, fucking great.
I
movie.
forgot he was in Looper.
Yeah, and he's good in it too. But I completely agree. He played this like maniac Riddler who I've seen both parts, like both sides, like a Jim Carrey version and a Dano version in the comics. And the Dano version is just scary.
It's dark.
Very homage to Seven, which was fucking awesome. Like I felt like this was if David Fincher gave me a Batman
I like
film.
the story behind it where it's modern because he goes to the internet and
Yes.
he's got this following of people on the internet that soup him up into this like you're the best
the guy.
man, you're
You're
the
our
guy.
guy.
And they all
the dark
fall
web.
they fall in line with him.
Well-
and it shows him, we're talking about bombs. They're like, hey, don't forget the saran wrap. Don't forget this. And it's just it's a modern day adaptation because, like I said, Jim Carrey's version is
Silliness.
old. It's the comic. It's the original Batman. It's
Frank Gorshin from the 60s.
Yeah,
like,
it's
like
very
he should have been
60s.
wearing like the full green, like question mark suits. Like
Right.
that's how it was
This
played.
this is super dark,
He did
and
at the
I
end.
really like the character. So
Yeah.
I think what's
completely
great
agree.
about his character is that he's driven by good intentions and fucking goes about it in the craziest
This way,
and the
yeah.
wrong way because his whole thing is taking down the corruption that has infested Gotham. But in doing so, he's murdering people, he's torturing people, he's basically holding people hostage.
Putting him in saw traps.
Yeah, he's putting him in saw type contraptions with rats and stuff like that. Like, but
And then
every
he
person
Fight
he's got,
Club's the end.
yeah, and what he does is everybody he goes after is not a good person. So there is almost no redeeming quality about his victims. So you're not like sitting there going, "Oh, that sucks. He killed such a nice guy." No, he killed a corrupt mayor. He killed the corrupt police guy. He goes after everybody that's been dipping into this fun that the Wayne set up, and it's showing that even though he was a murderer and a crazy person, he had good intentions, and I think that's what makes a good bad guy. And that's why I liked his character in this. He wasn't just like, oh, world domination, or I just want to fucking kick, Axis chemicals for no reason whatsoever.
Right.
Like, he had reasons to do it. It's one of those, he was the hero of his own story. He knew what he was doing was right. He was just going about it in a really fucked up way.
World domination never made sense to me. Like,
It's
what
dumb.
happens
Like, what are you going to do?
Yeah, what are you going to do?
Like, great.
Cool,
I got it.
everyone's your slave.
I
Now
did it.
what?
Sit in a big chair at
I'm
the top
bored.
of the hill.
Yeah. No, and then a lot of people, yes, the Joker's introduced in this, but I think he's set up as no. Don't you dare.
No, I
thought the same thing.
I like Barry Keoghan. I think his character, like if he does it, it would be great. I personally felt like that was just kind of shoehorned in. I read that there was more scenes involved with him, and
I'm sure we'll get him on the Blu-ray.
Yes, and I think that might flesh that out a little bit. I just feel like they just wanted to throw it in, and I just kind of feel like.
Here's my question.
I think he's going to be.
I hope so.
Like in the background, like pulling strings. I think we're going to get like.
I want a Court of Owls.
More Penguin stuff. I think we're going to get, maybe some new villains, maybe like a Clayface, something. This world.
Does Clayface work in this world, though?
I think so. Yeah.
Like
he worked in the animated series, and the animated series is super dark.
Yeah, but the animated series is animated, which means you got Man-Bat, you got Killer Croc, you've got all these characters that are legit crazy off-the-page type characters.
To me, it works in this world, but we'll see.
But Clayface is literally a man made of clay that can shapeshift his face. I don't feel if they're going to try to keep this grounded that you can do that kind of an adaptation, they might have to change it to where it's like one of those Mission Impossible type. He's got just fake faces constantly.
That would be cool.
And that's fine, but Clayface as that character maybe...
Or you could do, like, you haven't even met Harvey Dent yet.
Oh, I
like,
know. Well, are you sure? Because everybody, and every time I've seen that goes, hey, is that Two-Face? Was that Two-Face?
That was the first comment.
I wanted to punch everybody that said it. And I'm like, why? Why would it be Two-Face?
But here's
we don't know Harvey Dent.
I know that the old saying is there are no dumb questions, but
Well,
so I'm not.
They haven't met
again. This is I watch the movies. I've seen. I see them as they are. I don't really get into like the 1% of.
You want to watch
the graphic novels and stuff that people have.
Of my
so why this to me? It seems like we missed an opportunity to tie in the Joker movie.
No, stop it. First off,
with this Batman,
that Joker would have been like
dumb.
1,000,000 years old. He meets Bruce Wayne in that movie.
Right.
Again, he's
so he would have been 68 years old.
I can.
Now I don't
disbelief.
mind an older Joker versus a youngish Batman. Like I always felt like Mark Hamill's Batman in the animated series was an older version, like an older character compared to Bruce Wayne's character. But because if you've watched Mask of the Phantasm, and I'm gonna go real fucking nerdy, he was around during all that with all the mob, and that's why he was targeted by the Phantasm in that cartoon. So it's like I always feel like maybe he was already established, as a young adult teenager. Like I feel like Bruce Wayne was a kid, and you're getting the Joker would be the age of what Bruce Wayne is now, like in maybe his early 20s. So as they've aged up, he's maybe 10, 15 years older than Bruce Wayne. So he's already got a little bit more street knowledge and stuff like that. And that's why it always made him such a good bad guy for Bruce Wayne, is that, he had a little bit more knowledge and more.
I think that Joker movie only works as a standalone film. It doesn't work out.
It just seems like the worlds would mesh very well together.
Not really, because the Joker,
it's dark and gritty, but
the Joker in the Joker, he's way grounded. He's not pulling off fucking crazy ass super heists or anything. It to me doesn't work. It worked in that one scenario. I don't ever need to see him again like that. We don't need to expand on that universe.
Yeah, that's just my opinion.
I think DC does better when they don't try to establish some kind of big world. Marvel's done it well, but DC keeps just messing up over and over and over. There's only so many times you can reboot it. When they do a standalone movie like The Batman, and most likely it's spin-off, if you're not tying it into like, oh, Superman exists, or look, here's Aquaman, fucking fish. If you're not tying it into all these other properties and you just do Batman and it's, his rogues gallery, the sky's the limit with this property.
Did you see that they're not killing off Ben Affleck and that he's going to be in more properties after The Flash? What the fuck are they doing?
They pushed The Flash and Aquaman to next year after this giant campaign of, this is our year of superheroes.
I know.
Guess what? No,
No, we get one more.
We're gonna move Shazam to December, and everything else is going to next year. I'm like, they don't know.
Which
what
is
they're
hilarious
doing.
because
they just don't know it.
Shazam 1 was a Christmas movie set in the summer, and this one is a summer movie set in Christmas.
And then they moved Black Adam from July to like November.
I don't know what Warner Brothers is doing. I don't get it. You have this new Batman that's clearly blowing everything out of the box office with the pandemic box office, and it's like, we're gonna keep Ben Affleck now. Like, why? Why? So you can confuse everyone? Like, just whatever, man.
Right. No. So I mean, I like this movie. I really did.
Yeah, me too. I gave it a 4.
I would be with you. Yeah, I gave it a 4. Actually, I bought the soundtrack on vinyl from Mondo on Wednesday. Yeah, I got real nerdy on it, man.
All you gotta do is just download that one song from Nirvana.
Yeah, that's right. Something in the Way. It's great. I feel like the music.
The bridge.
Anyway. I do like the atmosphere. I mean, it was a little dark in some cases, but you know what? I'm fine with it. Scott complained about, not complained, but his issue was that Batman was too involved with Gotham PD. But if you think about it, Batman 89, he was very much, the Gotham wants to get him and stuff like that. And at the end of the movie, he gives him the signal. So then he's just, now in Batman Returns, he's kind of working lockstep with Gotham PD. So this is kind of that.
I get
moment.
that part. It just almost seemed like it was just too. It was too comfortable.
Nah,
it was way too
nobody wanted him
like
there.
He had a desk at the office that he just
nobody
shows up
wanted
as
him there.
like
Only
he shows up as
Gordon wanted him
Batman,
there. The Batman.
and he sits on and he's on the computer in his bat
it
outfit.
didn't feel like that.
That's exactly kind of how it felt for me.
because none of the PD wanted him there.
I know,
yeah.
but it was like I felt like
So,
he would have had a desk at the office. That's what it seemed like.
I loved Gordon and Batman's interactions, though. Like, I think this is probably one of the better Jim Gordons we've seen on screen too, as well.
I like Gary Oldman though.
Like,
I do. I'm not. Gonna lie.
I do, but. I liked Gary Oldman in the second one. I think the third one he was just kind of there. The first one was good.
Well, no, he got shot.
He got shot in the second movie.
No, in the third movie. Oh no, it was the second movie.
It was the second one.
Okay, my bad.
I think this. If anyone wants a little bit more backstory on kind of him and Batman's relationship leading into the Batman, watch Batman Year One, the cartoon. Like, that is such a good companion piece to this movie.
Or read one of the 1% of the books.
You have to come over to your house and watch.
There is I touched on this a little bit the last movie episode. There is a prequel novel, and it actually explains how they meet. So
right. No one's going to read that.
I did.
Watch Batman Year One.
I did read it.
But
through Audible.
I listened to that. But no, I agree. I give it a 4. I like it. I actually want to go see it again. And I don't think devoting 6 hours in one day was a waste of time for me. Like, people are like,
I did the same
you
thing.
watched it twice in one day and it's 3 hours. Oh my God. I'm like, I
saw
every
it
second of
3
it.
times in 2 days, and everybody thinks I'm ridiculous. I loved every second. The only thing was I had a couple bad theater experiences, but
that last
both of them, the IMAX one and
the IMAX.
So
there was one thing at the end that did bother me really bad after watching it the second time.
Well, I told you the end is really lame.
Well, that's not even just that. I mean, I get it. They still needed to kind of get him to that point where he realized
the motorcycle scene that takes forever for no reason.
No, it's the lead up to the motorcycle scene. So she's standing there at her mother's grave. She's just standing there, and then he shows up behind her. He's like, and she goes, "Oh, you scared me. Did you ever say hi?" And then they talk. She goes about her business, and then he gets on his motorcycle, no less than 2 feet from him, and I'm going, how did he roll up on her on a motorcycle and startle her? What happened? Like, there are moments like that happen in this movie that you still have to go, ugh. Like, when she's pulling him up, he's dangling from the rafters, and her 90-pound ass is pulling probably...
Well, no, she was struggling.
180... Yeah, but see, he's 180 pounds wet with probably 200 pounds of gear, and she's pulling him up. Like, no.
No, he
did not help her at all.
He
She was
did.
just deadlifting him up onto the rafters. And I kind of really want him to be the origin of the Bane serum in this movie, this series.
I've read that,
like,
but I still think it's adrenaline.
I think so too, but it's like, the nerdy part of me goes, oh, is that Bane? Is that Bane serum? Oh my God, he developed Bane?
We'll get Bane in the next one, but just keep getting the same damn fucking bad guys over and over again.
We'll get the bar. It's like, oh, shut up.
Bane, Poison Ivy, they'll team up. Fucking Mr. Freeze. Oh, Mr. Freeze. I've heard Reeves wants to put him in this.
Only if it's Schwarzenegger.
Now's the winter, you two are discontent.
Chill out, Batman.
Chill out.
Why
don't you freeze? I was like, fuck.
So, if you're following along at home, go see the Batman.
Please, it's a really good movie. It
If
is
you-
long, but you know what? Honestly, it goes. It moves. Like, it doesn't feel 3 hours to me.
If you want to watch a good horror movie, watch House of the Dead. Don't listen to Jordan on this one. Or House of the Devil. Sorry, House of the Devil.
Yeah, don't watch House of the Dead.
Watch House of the Devil.
I'd rate
It's
that one
dead.
worse.
And
Yui Bowl.
as Jordan said, next week our movie will be Alligator, starring Robert Forster, which I'm very excited about. So
I feel like I have to pick a horror movie now, or
no,
some
you
kind
don't.
of a
No, you don't.
just to clean up the month.
We're going to march into horror movies.
Wait, what is it? It is March.
It is March.
So sometime
It's our March Madness.
This you might not have to pick a movie because I want to do the Oscar show. So for the Oscars.
You fucking jilt me.
I was gonna say
it was a joke.
Fuck you, Scott. You don't
You'll
get to
still
choose
pick the
shit.
movie, but we might skip your week.
We might just, you could pick it, and then nobody will hear it. It's fine.
Anyway,
I've seen the numbers. No one listens to yours anymore.
yeah, exactly. Or mine. All righty then. So we will see you guys next week. I'm Aaron.
I'm Jordan.
And Scott.
Big gulps, huh? Well, see you later.
At least he's consistent.